Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the podcast brought to you by the ANOUVUE Collective, where we're going to talk about everything film related, from script to screen and anything else in between. Stay tuned. We are here, another ANOUVUE podcast, and this time we have our guest, Mark Anthony Deacon. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to let him introduce himself properly, but I just going to give a little overview. This man is an actor, a director, a assistant director, a writer, and an educator.
And a producer.
And a producer. Many hats, right? Many hats. But Mark, tell us a little bit more about yourself. Tell us some stuff that we don't know about you.
Well, so as you would have told your audience, I am Mark Anthony Deacon. I am a writer and actor, a director, and a producer. But I'm more into directing, still learning the art of writing. Being a writer, I'm not as great as Kevin Jackson, but I'm still learning the art of writing.
Okay, well, here's where we're going to dive some more into this so that people can get to know you more, because there's a lot to know about you. If somebody has that many hats, there's a lot to know. So let me ask you, tell us about your journey into filmmaking. What inspired you to become an actor, a director, an assistant director, producer, all of these things? Tell us, how did this journey come about?
So funny enough, growing up, I had my plan of what I want to become. So I said to myself, I was going to be a lawyer. Then I'm going to move from being a lawyer to a Supreme Court judge, to a judge, then a Supreme Court judge. That was my plan. I loved law at that time, and I was very interested in law. Went to high school. I went into
Which high school?
I went to Josemarte High School, and I was more interested in.
So next true blue man that you know.
I was I was learning engineering at Josemarte. I was learning, and then I moved. I saw this girl and I liked her. She was so beautiful, and I said I need to know which vocation she's in, and I found out she was in visual arts. And I said, well, never go switch to visual arts because of this girl. And I switched to visual arts, and I realized I love arts. Then I realized I love, to use pottery and create, something out of a mold and all of that. And so when leaving high school, I said, why, what are you going to do? So my first job was working at a school, at a training institute. I was assistant to the administrative body, and also while being assistant, you were also assisting teaching. And I saw at the time at the school they were teaching. It was Children First at the time. The name of this institute is Children First Agency, and they were teaching them videography and photography. And I was, just being there as a staff member, watching the teacher teaching. I said, boy, I like this, this look nice. This look like something where would I get involved in. And so, but I was always interested in acting and giving jokes and making people laugh. So I said, I like this. I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of this. And so I started going to the class. I started leaving my office, going to the class every time to just watch and to see what the teacher is doing. And I said to the teacher one day, I want to be a part of this. And at the time they were shooting some form of, I don't know if it was a music video, but it was something that they were shooting. I think it was a feature for Children First. And I said to him, I want to be able to be a part of this. And my first job on the set was to hold up a boom mic. I wasn't the audio man, I was just holding the boom mic. So for hours I'll be there holding the boom mic, trying to be strong. And I remember holding that boom mic, but I was determined. While I was holding that boom mic, I was asking the questions, and I was watching him directing, and I was watching the actors performing. And I said, I love this. So after my cousin, who was also a part of the school, graduated, they formed a little business together, and I said, I want to be a part of the business. So I started, working with them, kind of getting an idea of the whole thing of video production and all of that. And I said this was good. Then I got involved in theater. I did some training in theater, got some certificates in theater, but I was doing theater, I was involved in acting in theater. But I also did stage management, and I did stage management for about 35 shows, theater plays. And I said from there I knew that I had a passion for bringing things to life, even as a stage manager. So I moved from theater, and I said I want to get involved in film. And I started out, as I said, my first job on a film set was holding up the boom mic, but I realized it was something I wanted to be a part of, and I knew that I had the knack to get people to do what I want them to do and to bring out whatever character it is. So I went, I got trained, but while I was being trained, I was still working with different companies. I was still participating, in different programs, learning the art of film and working on film sets. So I just got into film because I thought it was a beautiful thing. Well, I don't think, I think it's a beautiful craft, and I loved it, and I believe that it is one of the best things when you can, get people to take on a different persona, a different character, and you are able to use that individual. It's like you have a clay and you want to make a pot. You mold that person into what you want them to be. So I just love it. And that's how I got involved in film, and I've been doing it since 2009. And I just started, working on different sets, working in TV production, because at one point I was working in TV production. I was working for other companies. I was working as production assistant. I was working as floor manager. I worked at a producer, helped to produce shows. So my passion for film and television started way back then, but I know I got fully involved in 2009.
Okay, great. So let me ask this question now, because obviously you've had a lot of experience in the film industry and media for many, many years. So I think everybody has encountered challenges. I want to know, what kind of challenges have you faced in the film industry? And how did you overcome those challenges?
Challenges I faced in the industry. At the time, lack of opportunity. I never got the big opportunities like most people. I had to beg for them. I had to push my way, bother people, call them every day, send them emails to get them to get me involved. And that was my challenge, to get involved. And, thankfully there are a few persons in the industry who gave me the opportunity, to be a part of their production. But some of the challenges as well that I have is really, having an idea and not able to pursue that idea because of lack of funding. you know when you don't have that money to push that idea that you have, that story that you have, it becomes challenging for you. So I knew that that was one of my biggest challenges, having the idea but not able to get that idea out there because of the money that I didn't have at the time. And at one point I used to say, boy, the film industry is for the eye color people, or the people who are from Kingston. Nobody remember the people from Spanish Town, because I'm from Spanish Town.
Eye color.
I'm just brown. But I would always say that. Yeah, I would always say, if you don't have a big name, and I believe, and if I say, if you don't, people don't want to give you an opportunity because you don't have a big name. And I say, only way a person can have a big name is if you give them a chance. So I never had much of that. So that was some of my challenges. Oh, I overcome it. As I said, I never gave up. I pushed. I bother people. You, Kevin, can tell, you are one of them who I bother, say, get me in your production, get me in the production. Joshua Paul is one of them who I run down and say, Josh, get me in the production. People from M1. So I successfully went with all these people. I pushed myself. I never gave up. I never gave in. Even when I hear no, I use that no as a motivation to motivate me to push my way through. So that's one of the ways that I've overcome.
How has your experience as an actor influenced your approach to directing?
Good one. So I'm what you would call a method actor, and I use it as I call myself a method director. That's a good term, but I always call myself a method director, because when I take on a character as an actor, when I study that character, when I research on that character, when I immerse myself in that character, when it's no longer Mark Anthony Deacon is acting. It's over the character. If you say I'm playing the character of a water bottle, I am the water bottle, and so I take on that persona, and people think I am schizophrenia, but I take on that character. Same thing with directing. When I'm directing an actor, I don't want him I don't want when you're seeing them, it's like, oh, they're acting. I want when you see them, you're wondering, is this real? Is this scenario real? Are these, I like to pull out of actors and actresses something that is hidden, that is always there, but has never been pushed on or pulled on. And so what I do as a director, I always tell my actors, research. If you're playing a character of a cow, research the cow. Watch a cow. Go and sit at a farm and watch that cow. And for a week or 2 weeks and see how that cow live its life. And then through that, when it's time for you to come on set, you are a cow. You're not Kevin Jackson. You are a cow. So if I say cow, you answer to cow. If I call you Kevin Jackson, you don't answer because you're no longer Kevin Jackson. So my approach is more of a method type of directing because I took that from method acting.
Got you. It's interesting because I take a similar approach with like fight choreography. Like if somebody tell me they want the fight to be of this style, I'll go and research different styles that
Yes.
that work for the particular role. And strange thing is, I was once asked to choreograph a fight scene for Animal Farm. And that was interesting because I had to ask them, okay, what are the different characters? And they said, okay, there's a horse and there's a goat and there's this. And I had to go study horses and goats and figure out how they're going to fight, And when I was working on Origins with Kurt Wright, because the martial arts were African based, I spent a whole week just watching my African martial arts and, looking at the moves and all of those things and incorporating it into the fight scene to make sure that they feel authentic. And I felt very good when a martial artist who studies an African martial art said, yeah, man, I see you did your homework, man.
Yes.
You got the moves on pat.
Research is important. Actors, directors, writers, producers, research is important. Research.
All right, so.
But wait there, say, the research is so big, say a lot of writers say, them right, like, you see a movie come out, right? And you go, how long it takes to make the movie, to write the movie there? And they say, like 10 years. Say sometimes, most of the time, there is just research.
Yeah, very true.
It's not even writing it, them already have the idea a long time, and them just want to make sure say it makes sense.
Just give you a quick example. My film that I'm writing now, I started as a short, which is The Cane Cutter. And Kevin can tell you about that. I keep rewriting. And one of the reasons why I keep rewriting, I'm always researching on that film. I had to research, back then, education, the education system, and who had the opportunity for education versus who don't have the opportunity and who have to fight for that opportunity. And so because I have a scenario, a era in my script where the person was motivated to do what they did because of the opportunity for education, I had to research back then. I had to push back then because way back then in the late what I would say in the 18 something another, the lighter skinned people are the richer, whiter set of people. They're the only ones who would get the opportunity for education. The blacker set of people would go and work on the farms or work on the plantation. I had to research that. So researching as it relates to your writing and even your directing is very important. As a director, I like to research. If I'm reading a script and the script is about romance, I'll watch 100 romance film, and then not only that, I'll research about romance. How did romance start? How did love start? And try to incorporate that when I'm directing, because I believe that every time you do a film, every time you do a play, whatever it is, it has to be a teaching moment for you, so that whatever mistake you make or you made, you wouldn't do it again.
All right, so tell me something, right? As a director, and I guess even as an actor, what themes or stories do you find yourself drawn to in your work?
I am more drawn to drama. I love drama. I love emotions. I love emotions. I'm an emotional person and I love emotions. I love to bring out the emotions from people. I like comedy. I like um action, but I'm more into drama. I'm more into bringing a story to. I love to see a story come to life through your emotions. I'm not the fast-paced type of person who is always in the action. A lot of people like action, but I don't. I watch a lot of TV series, a lot of procedurals, a lot of detective series. But when it comes to drama, that's what I'm more drawn to because I like to, use people emotion to tell the story. So I'm always working on people's emotion. So it's for me, it's not even most about the camera shots because we know that the DP is good. We know that the DP has great way of telling the story through the shots and the light setup. But for me, I like to work with the actor so I can say, listen, this is how I want you to deliver this line. If the line requires you to cry, what do I use to motivate you to cry? What do I use to motivate you to laugh? So I love drama. I'm a drama person.
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, Mark Deacon, here's a slogan I have for you. Here's a slogan because the times I've seen you on set, this is the slogan that come to my head when we go, oh, we go interview Mark Deacons. This is a slogan I have.
Deacon, this Mark Anthony Deacon.
Wait, from another Mark to another Mark.
Yes, sir.
Mark Deacon, if you can't run your set, he can. You get it?
I think I get it, but I'm not sure.
Mark Deacon, if you can't run your set, he can.
Because of the CAN at the end.
Yeah.
That's right.
But the thing is, no, but that's the truth though. Because listen, a video just came out with Nuffy. They're on a stage with Cartel Zine. And Nuffy make up a bag of nice right next to Cartel, and Cartel look on him like, what the fuck? Like, my you relax, right? When I say you stay like Nuffy, but when I see upon set, your energy is like Nuffy. It's like you're there everywhere doing everything. Bam, 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 bam. Most time I'm on, I forgo, yo, Mark, relax now, we have it. We got it. But you're always on it. Right? So
Well,
it's the truth. Like if a lot of the times, like you are running shit. And sometime people have to be like, yo, I got it, Mark. I got it. All right, I know.
Man, enough
well,
time
as,
to take over. Me set I've said, Mark, go easy now, go easy now. Give me a chance.
as an AD too, one other thing is I'm a perfectionist and I consider myself as a perfectionist. I love when things are done right and I love when things are done perfect. I believe if I'm going to do something, if you invite me to come on your set to work with you, it's never about the money. And I say to people, it's never about the money. If I'm going to give your project 100%, I'm going to give your project 100%. I'm not going to give your project 50% or 60% because the money not good and the money no. If I'm going to give your project 100%, I'm going to give it. If it requires 100%, so I don't want to say, oh, I'm a part of a project and it never went good because I'm in a cure because the director or the producer never pay me good. No, I want to give it my full 100. It doesn't matter about the money. I want to make sure that your project, your story is being told. I want to make sure that your project is perfect. So I will sometimes micromanage, but I don't believe in slacking up. People call me, sometimes people say, boy, you're a real slave driver, and Mark. It's not a matter of being slave driver, it's just that I want us to do film is time. And I don't believe in wasting time. I hate wasting time. You don't waste my time, and I will never waste your time. One thing people will never say is that Mark is a time waster. I don't waste people's time. I ensure that I give you 100% and I make sure that your set is run good. I make sure that I'm checking up on the producer. I'm checking up on the camera crew. I'm saying, guys, we have, and I will motivate you. Of course, sometimes I get on your nerves, but I'll motivate you. But nobody likes an AD, and I learned that because when I have my ADs on my side, I'm like, but that's our job of an AD. You're not supposed to be liked. You're supposed to make sure that you get the job done. And also sometimes people do like me, you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
No, man. Listen, it's best for somebody to tell a AD to relax than you can't find your AD or your AD not doing what you want your AD to be doing. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, and as you say, you work on your own film them and you see how films run. So that make you even more alert because you say, me not gonna make that upon my one, so I'm not gonna make it upon your. You know what I say? Most people coming at the game and they've never them not go through the other side of filmmaking it. They just probably pick up AD and then not understand everything.
Yeah.
They may mess up like that. So after like winning the best director for your film in 2017, right? And that's a major achievement for you. Like, what did that recognition do for you?
Well, so it wasn't in 2017 we won that award. The film was done in 2018 and we released it in 2020. Well, we released the trailer in 2024.
Okay.
But we had submitted them in festivals in 2024 and in 2023. So we didn't really got the award in 2017. But getting that award, and I would love to talk about the award. So we have won 12 awards so far and still waiting on the others to come in. We have won awards for best feature, best director, best producer, best writer, and the list goes on. Winning that award as best international director at the Zurich Film Festival, for me, it was in Switzerland. For me, I was shocked at first when the producer told me. I was laughing. I was like, you know, while a lot of filmmakers pride on getting awards, for me, it's really telling stories. And I love to tell stories. I love to tell stories. But getting that award for me, it propelled me a little bit. It motivated me more because at one point I gave up on filmmaking. I was like, boy, filmmaking is not going anywhere right now because the industry is so oversaturated. Everybody wants to filmmaking. I know it's so hard to get work because everybody in this thing now. So for me, I was like, you know, I'm going to find something else to do, you know. So I tried my hand at different businesses. But getting the award was a motivation to say, boy, Mark, you know, this is what you have worked for, to get recognized fully out there and to be recognized in, you know, at the Switzerland Film Festival there in Zurich. It was a joy for me. And not only that, when our film won Best Feature at the Toronto Black Diversity Film Festival, and there's another film festival in Toronto ANOUVUE Film Festival. It felt good because it shows that the work that you've put in, you know, people are now appreciating it. So winning that award for me was something, you know, big. You know, it never really propelled my career bigger because, as I said, I've not really done much since then. But it was a big accomplishment.
So what was the inspiration though behind Closed Doors, the film? Behind the film.
So funny enough, Behind Closed Doors started as a short. So the young lady who I met, we both were graduating from Media Technology Institute. And I heard she did a film. And I said to her, hey, you have never met Mark Anthony Deacon. Next thing you do in your film, call me. That was a joke. And she laughed. And then a week after, a friend of mine who was also a teacher at MTI, he brought a hard drive to me and he said, the young lady you met, she has a film that she did already and she wants it to be edited. I asked him, okay, bring the script to me. When I read the script, I said, ooh, this is a real good script. Then when I looked at the footage, I says, ooh, these footages are uneditable. They cannot be edited because there was the person who shot at the time did music video. And you know how music videos directors are and cinematographers. Then drop the camera, it's a creative shot. If they drop the camera back, then it comes out of a creative shot. So when I saw it, I was like, man, whoever shot this needs to be shot. So
yo,
I called her.
Mark waiting for the blood.
I called her up and I said, listen, let us do this over as a short. and we started writing it, doing auditions, and it moved from a short to becoming a featured. And I started marketing. I started networking around and calling people to come on board. And that's why I called on Arville Mattison and a few people to come on board and to make the film work. The inspiration behind it really is just wanted to tell a story. I believe in telling stories that will impact people's lives. So if it's a story about abuse, I'm going to highlight that story because I'm an advocate for women's rights and for women having rights. Everybody who knows me knows that I'm an advocate for that. And so if a story that is going to highlight women power or highlight the situation, the issues that women go through, I'm going to highlight it. So the inspiration was just to really tell a story to show how people can be, can be evil and how they can use things that they have to, destroy people. So the inspiration was really just to tell a story to inspire people because I'm always about inspiring people.
So now that you basically mash up the young lady script and cuss, you're like, yo, this nah go work. You just need to do this over. And you try to make it into a short film and you're like,
That's potential.
this is better done as a film again. Right? And you find all the money and everything. Now in the production phase, like on shooting on set and so on, what memorable thing happened from that set? Like, you know what I mean? Anything
Boy,
memorable and any challenges?
yes,
Jamaica, there is challenges.
there is challenges.
Boy.
So we had a lot of challenges. I think the first weekend when we booked the house to shoot and we shot it, something was never done right. I can't quite remember what it was. And then we had to reshoot again. All that scene we had to reshoot it again because something wasn't done right. But I remember two of the biggest challenges we faced when one of the actors was playing with the prop gun and he swung the gun, it fell out of his hand and cracked the LCD screen of the camera. So this is us shooting now, not seeing the screen, but we have to get an additional monitor on it. And I was upset, but I was like, things happened. But one of the biggest challenges is when we filming. And I believe in giving young people a chance. So all our crew was young people who were just starting out, who never. I think the only persons that were experienced on the crew was Kevin, who came on and did the fighting scenes for us. He did the what you call it again? He did stunt for us. Robin and myself, Orville, and a few other persons who had a little experience on film, that were there. Everybody else was just starting out there. I've never done film before. They never even done a commercial before. And so it was me teaching them while directing. So it was a lot that I was doing. And I remembered when we finished filming, went into the guy who we had as the audio guy. He said everything was good. He said the audio was perfect, man. Don't worry yourself. And I trusted him. When we went into the editing room, only audio we were getting was audio from the camera. An entire 2-hour film had no audio. The audio was not there. This is now us.
Wait. Sorry, Mark. Wait. You are telling me, say, on a shoot out a whole RAS film and done the film
Finish.
and only never find out the audio mess up. So what happened to the money? You know what? Jesus.
So as I said, because the crew is young, everybody was
stress me. The story has stressed me.
I know. But I remember we had no audio, and this is not us. We have to go back into the studio now to do what is called ADR.
And sorry to cut you, Mark, but if I recall correctly, it's hard to recall because in the on whole heap of sets, things get blurred. But if I recall correctly, I feel like a couple of times we asked the sound guy, yo, the sound
We
good.
did.
Man said,
I told you, we asked him.
yeah,
Because
man.
it was me trusting. I say, is the audio good every time before we start filming and after? And I never checked it because I had so much things to do, because at the same time I was helping with producing and I was helping doing other things, and it was just a lot. And I asked this man before, I said, is the audio good? The man said, yeah, man, the audio perfect. Kevin can tell you. And when we went into the editing room, no audio for a 2-hour film, not one audio, thousands of footage, and the only audio was the audio from the camera. Brother,
Man must
that
forget to
first
press
time.
record.
Yo,
This is
my
my
head would
first time
attack
doing
me.
ADR. I've never
egg-
done ADR in my life.
Yo,
This
my
is me,
head would attack me. I
bro.
swear.
I have to research about ADR. I have to spend months researching, months. And then when I finally got the act, this is me, begging the actors to
Come back.
every single person, including extras, to come back to film, to record the audio in a studio. And we spend 1.5 years. This is now in COVID time. In COVID time. To get everybody back into a studio to record the audio. Man, I tell you, I was depressed for 1 year straight.
Cha-cha.
But we finally got it done with the hard work of the crew and the commitment of the producers, because they saw that it was something beautiful. Big up to Arville, who never gave up. When I said, you know what, I'm going to give up on this film, I'm done. And Kevin, who encouraged me. Kevin always said, boy, Mark, better than none is a feature film. You do feature film, would have enough people in this industry a long time, so don't give up. And so I thank Kevin for that. He has always been encouraging me. And I remember Arville said, man, don't give up, man. I'm just hold it out. This project can go far. And the editor who was editing at the time, he's from overseas. The man said, boy, this is a real good film, Don't give up on it. So we had to go and do the ADR, and we have a good complete film. But I tell you, challenges you face on a film set as a filmmaker.
Yo, that side there, you're stressed out right now. You still are stressed about it.
Yes. The things you face on a film set.
Bro.
Yeah, and the people you work with, because as I said before, most of these people, even our PAs, they were from the film community at the UWI. A lot of them never had the opportunity to work on a film set. So when you bring them on a big film set now, some of them even fall asleep. Some of them, while people were sleeping, I was walking around the compound, still packing up things, picking up bottles, washing dishes, because people tired, people gone sleep. And I said, listen, I don't want to, we rented this place. I was doing more than just being a director, but we did it because we had a love for it, and
Yo, I don't know if you've seen Wrath, but I remember we're shooting it here in that corner behind me.
Mm-hmm.
See? And I bought this filter because I go for this look. And when I even start shooting it, dog. And as a matter of fact, no, I was shooting on this camera that we're looking at, this Komodo. But we shoot the starting on a FX9. And we ready for go to this camera. And my brethren, I put in the filter. And the filter drop. I ran the filter too, and the filter drop and broke. I'm gonna just look upon him. I'm gonna say, all right, hurry up, bro. Hurry up. We have to shoot. Because I don't know what probably is overtime I learned. Well, then again, I probably wouldn't fly upon him, and I was not in that energy anyway if we get upset. It's just like, okay, that broke. We can still shoot because we have lens and camera and everything. The game is not over. You see me I say?
Yeah.
I mean, I had to pay $400 for the damn filter in the end.
But can I give you a joke? When we did the ADR, the computer that the audio was saved on crashed, and we lost all that audio. Some we recovered, but we had to call actors again back. Some of the main people.
Wait. Wait, who be at the film?
I don't know. And then, funny enough,
Brother, too much things are gone
and funny enough,
to tell you to give up, but that thank goodness you don't have that energy there.
and funny
You never
enough,
done about.
the main actress, when we had her, she started giving us trouble now because she don't want to come back. She's not coming back to do the additional audio, and she can't bother, and she want more money. Those were some of the challenges we faced, but we held it, and
You
we.
know, before this, we were talking about AI. No, sad to say, somebody give them type of issue there. But they say, all right, say less.
Yeah, man, 11 labs are.
Yeah, yeah.
Say less.
But
I'm sorry.
funny enough, I have a friend who is a casting, um, is a casting director, Cecile Barrows, and when we said, I'm not gonna give it that secret. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that. I'm not gonna give it that secret because we literally had, leave it there, leave it there. we had a human AI to do some things, but nevertheless, we're moving on.
No, because
Yeah, man.
I was going to say to you, say, boy, yo, if she get too much trouble, I'd just say, yo, you what? We go just find a female actor and just say, hey, she going to just have a new voice.
No, but the person, I can't put it in the back. The person who we had to record, it was just one line, and the one line was, "Yes, mama, goodbye." That's one
That's
line.
it. You can do that on your phone.
This person was holding the film hostage because of that one line. So we just invited somebody to come, and that person make the voice so well.
Yeah.
And gave us that one line. One line, no. You're holding the film hostage because one line. And so, yeah. Any other questions?
Hey,
It's crazy.
the show must go on.
Show must go on.
Yeah, it's crazy. I watched a film the other day with John Travolta. What the name? Forget the name. But like this actress is dying in it, getting stabbed, and he's a sound guy. And the director keep talking about it, the scream. Like if you watch a movie, you're like, oh, it name Blowout. And if you watch a movie, yeah, you yourself will be like, yo, that scream there, Liam. All of the scream that them find, be a hot girl, be a people, be a girl, to do the scream. Everybody scream late, Liam. You know how him get the scream, bro? Him go out one night and him a capture audio. And them set up for kill a politician, and the politician drive off a cliff, another cliff, a bridge, and go in a water. Him never get to save the politician, but him get to save the girl where they day in the back seat. Him save for her life. The youth still a hunt her for kill her. And him kind of fall in love with her or something. And then in the end, when I try to save her again for catch the killer actually kill her. And he had a recorder on her. And that's how him get the scream.
Interesting.
I'm just like, wow, that is crazy. So,
I need to go watch the remote now.
blow out, yeah. The film gotta go on.
Film gotta go
on. You see what I say? Yeah, so the next thing, Murphy, is so while I go through the film now, you're working in Jamaica, and you know there's different caliber of actors. You know, how was it working with them and getting the emotion? You know, getting the way what of them.
So Kevin has worked with me before. And as I said, I'm a method type of actor, method type of director. I will emotionally break you as an individual. When I say I will let you, I have ways, psychological ways that I use to get you to tell me things, and those things I will use to break you emotionally during rehearsal. People say I'm devious, but it's not being devious. It's really, I have ways of breaking you down. If you can cry around me, then you can cry around anyone else. So I break you down in such a way that you can trust me emotionally. So when you go on set and I tell you to block out cameras and the lights and just deliver. So I have different ways, different mechanisms that I use to get actors to get into that character. And as I said, I don't give my secrets away, but I have. But if you're on set with me and see how I direct, you will see how I use, or I'll bring you to this side and I'll emotionally drain you, get you out of yourself. As I said before, when you're done, I have to take you to the side and get you back into the regular person. So I have some psychological ways that I use to kind of get you to, it's like come out of your own body and stuff. People will say, boy, that sounds like a hobby working, but no, it's just ways that I use to, are things that I use to get you out. The thing is, Jamaican actors we are a theater country. We're not a film country. Most of our actors started out in theater, and we're big in theater. We're big in stage play. So you'd really find people who can do both, but we are a theater country. So with Jamaicans, our acting is if I'm sad, I'm telling you that I'm sad, because we're used to being on stage. And when we say I am upset, when you're angry, you shout that you're angry and set on the stage, because that's how we are in theater. That's how we're trained in theater. Because with film is more showing than telling. You use your body language, you use your emotions, you use your expression with your tonality to tell the story and to tell the emotions. When you're on set, when you're on a stage, if you're upset, you say, me upset, me vex with you, and you shout it out. So what I try to do is that I try to get theater actors into film acting. And how I get them into film acting is really breaking them from theater. And how you break them from theater is to get them to abandon. I tell people, whatever you learn about acting when you were going to Edna Manley and all these things, when you get a part in a film, abandon that. Everything. And people may say, why you tell them to do that? I say, everything you learn about acting in theater school, abandon it. When you come on a film set, it's a different type of acting. It's a different type of emotions. And so what I try to do is that I try to break them into film acting, because film is showing, not saying it. It's showing it through your emotions, showing it through your expressions, showing it through your movement on set. Film is slower, not faster like theater. And so I try to work with them and break them into getting that emotion that I want, and bringing them into that mood. And I say, why bring them into that mood? I have different exercises that I do with the actors and actresses before rehearsals to get them into the frame of mind. And as I said, I tell my actors, when you tell me your deepest, darkest secrets, nobody will know your secrets now, but I will use it against you on set, so you can give me the emotion to cry. So you can give me the raw anger. I will blame you. I give a joke. The young lady who played the main role, she couldn't cry to save her life. She couldn't cry on demand. And she told me a story about her grandmother. And I blamed her. I started telling her things that never happened and things that could have happened. And people may say, boy, that's not safe as a director. But I use that against her. And when I say action, she bawled like a baby. She couldn't stop crying, And then I bring her to the side and I say, all right, then calm down and get her back into her normal self. One of the other actresses, she told me something, and I said, get angry, and she couldn't get angry. And I said, all right then. And I whispered in her ears and I said, and she just got upset. She was irate. And I said, yes, that's what I need. And that's how she came and delivered that scene, that angry scene. And when she came out, she was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. And I was like, yes. So I have different ways, I have different skills that I use as a director. And I said, I love to research, and I love to research about the human body, and I love to research about the human mind. I tell you, if you give me your mind, I'm a potter. Give me your mind. I love to mold your mind. People will say it's not narcissistic, but it's not. It's just how directors are.
You're an evil director.
I know. You have seen my methods on
I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. Definitely not my choice of method, but I've seen it. I've
but
seen it.
but it works. It works, and it works brilliant. Because when you see these actors in anything I've done, whether it's co-directing or even assistant directing, when you see these actors, you're like, wow. Me and Kevin, we recently worked on a pilot for a TV series. I was his first assistant director. And I said to Kevin, give me some time with these actors. Because these were theater people. These were big theater actors. And when me and Kevin was like, boy, Mark, and my method talking about it worked. It did work. And it worked. So every director is different in how they direct people. But I find myself directing you. I want real raw emotions. I don't want you to come on set and give me a bunch of lines and give me fake acting. I want real emotions, real thing. And that's how I educate or I trained my actors to get them to do what I want them to do on set and to be great. Because at the end of the day, I tell them, I don't want when you leave this set and when the movie come out, I want when the movie comes out, you can get called for hundreds of films because people see you and say, boy, this actor, you're good. This actor is great. There was a particular young man on my set. I can't even call his name Darren. Darren is a commercial actor. He has a good face. He's always in commercial. He's in a lot of commercial. And many people didn't
Dude
want
with a beard?
many people didn't give him a chance in film because them saying just a commercial face, he may not have acting. And I said, I will work with this young man because I believe that he has the potential to grow, and I believe in giving people opportunity. And most of the actors can tell you who are on my set, I love to give young people chances. I love to give them opportunity because guess what? I never got these opportunities. I want to give them opportunities. I want to give young actors opportunities. And that's why I love working with the young actors because I want them to get there. You can't say they're not established if you don't give them a chance to become established. You have to give them that chance, that opportunity to be
All right,
established.
Mark,
Yes.
we're gonna bookmark that because that's one of the podcasts that we got from the last podcast that we have to do, talking about opportunities. And
Yes.
that's what we're talking about where we went off on a tangent.
Yes.
Because you can't ask somebody if them can do something if them never do it yet and then they've not gotten out. The catch-22 of never. But question, you did all right. Woman bring you into the game. Get it. So you go for most of the things what men do. So woman bring you into the game, you find your love for it. You went into theater? Did you do theater? Did you
Yes, I
do
did theater. I did a few
okay.
plays. I worked with a few theater companies. I studied theater, did some courses in theater, but I did most of my experience in theater is really behind the scenes. I did some plays, but I did mostly stage management. So I was working for a company. I was working for this guy. The first plays I got was with Everton Dawkins, and he did a series of play called Pasa Pasa. At that time, there was a
Pasa.
Pasa Pasa
Yeah,
with Gurley and Chuchu and these people. And
yeah.
he did I
Little
did
theater that.
sorry?
Little theater that.
No,
That's
it
that little
was no
theater.
man, it was roots theater. It was more of roots theater. So what I did was I did
Think I know
stage
what that
management for them. So I did about 35 shows
yeah.
across Jamaica for him in doing stage management.
So my question reason I asked that's because you directing Jamaicans and a lot of people come from stage. So being a stage performer, does that make you tap into a stage performer a way that a normal film director wouldn't like a film director that never worked with people that do stage probably wouldn't able to find that part in them for ask them to do something or break them down like you're saying because film directing different from stage directing and if you come from film directing and try to direct somebody that does stage, yeah, you can tell them all day to tone it down, but you may not have the full vocabulary to get in their mind so they could understand. And I must say, you as a stage person, you probably can say like a one line or one word, and them go, oh, all right, got you, and them draw it. So do you use any stage things on any of these actors in the film to pull them to a certain area that you wanted them, a certain level or so?
Never. I never use stage as a example to get actors who are in theater to get to do film stuff. What I always do is I always refer them to, say, for instance, the guy who Chevrado, who played the main role, one of the main role in the film. I love American Gangster, and I told him, go and watch the American Gangster film. Watch it 4 to 5 times. I want you to give me, because you're a gangster, but you're not the Jamaican gangster where I run up and down the mouth and I talk about, yo, oh boy, if you're dead. No, you're not that type of gangster. You're a corporate gangster. You're a corporate drug dealer. So if you watch American Gangster, you see how Denzel Washington played that role, and he was, you never see him as a hoodlum, as a thug, because he never had that thug behavior. It was more subtle in whatever he's doing. Even when he shot the guy who was can't remember the character name, when he was in the market area, and he was saying, and he was talking about the jar, and he was supposed to put the 20% in the jar. How he killed him, it wasn't even thuggish in a sense, or it was brawling out. It was more subtle in how he did it. So I often say to actors, do your research. I oftentimes refer them to watch different films. If we're doing a film about drama, I tell them to watch this type of film. And when you come to me now, I can say, did you do your homework? Because I would have already watched the film. And I said, all right, then, I want you to give me the role this way. I want you to say the line this way, but I want your movement to be less robotic or less theatric in terms of your movement on set, in terms of your tonality. Tonality is important when the tone you use. One of the things I often use to break down the character, I said use PIMPS, the pimps of the character. Know the physical aspect of the character. Know the intellectual of the character. Know the moral of the character. Know the psychological of the character. And the S stand for the social background of the character. You have to know what type of physical look the person looks like. You know, if you're playing a role of a madman, because so long I watch a madman and say, oh, a madman operate. You know that the intellectual of a madman is that, boy, him out of mind, but he may talk some facts in the bunch of gibberish he's talking. If I sit down and hear some madman attack, I think, why am I to talk foolishness? Sometimes in what all the foolishness is, you think he's talking, there's some facts in it, you know. You understand what I'm saying? There's some little facts there. And you know the moral, what was the moral compass of the character? What is the psychological of the character? What is the mental state of the person at that time? And what is the social background of the character? Is the person from uptown, or the person from downtown, or the person from out of country? So I oftentimes use that to break down the character breakdown. And then once you break down the character, once you understand the character you're playing, then delivering would not be a problem, because you're now know who you're playing.
Okay, you say all of that, I still feel like you know answer what I'm saying.
You sure?
So, yeah, man. Because what I basically say is
a bunch of things, you know.
No. What I basically ask is, and what you said is great. I'm very happy you use that thing called pimps, because I never hear about it unless you make it up. That is a great thing to know. That's really good thing to know. What may I ask is this. You did stage, right? A lot of the actors are stage actors, right? And you're trying to make them...
Not the ones in my film. The ones in my film, some of them would have done a few.
Okay.
They didn't.
Okay. All right. Okay.
The reason I make mention to theater is because
amalgamation.
Jamaicans are theater.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was gonna ask, how did you mentally transform them from stage to film acting, that mindset? Because I was trying to say, because you do stage, you may know how to,
transition them,
help them to transition. That was what the question was. How do you transition them mentally? But you did have to do that with some of them, as you say.
Yeah, man. Some of them I would have to mentally transition them from as I said, what I use is I let them know that, give them the difference between theater acting and film acting. As I said before in previous questions, film is not loud like theater. With theater, you're on a stage, So you have to tell how you feel. You can't show how you feel because the person in the background who is in row 100 can't see how you're feeling or see the expression on your face. So you have to tell them, say you're upset, and you have to be shouting. When it comes to film, it's a different thing. It is you showing me how you feel. So I will say to you, so you say you're upset. You don't say, I'm upset, I'm fix with you. No, you give a look.
Yeah. I understand.
You don't have
Okay.
to say a word, but the expression on your face and your movement, your body language tell me that you're upset. And cut, that's the scene. And the audience who is watching the film will say, boy, I'm upset, because she said something will upset him. You don't have to tell me. So it's just way of just differentiating. When I'm directing them, I also teach them. I said, there's a difference between acting for stage and acting for film. This is how you will do it on stage. This is how I want you to do it now on film.
All right. So after you do all
Hopefully that answers your question.
no man, you get no, but now you did understand more what I say. So yeah, because a film actor are less work for you doing a film unless you ask them to act out and be bigger. Like if there's a stage in the film where they're acting out on stage, then you ask them for that in the
And that's
film.
what I said to you, is that Jamaica is not like Hollywood or Canada or those where there's options for film acting and theater acting.
You
Everyone
have
in
to be
Jamaica
chameleons.
theater.
Yeah.
If you want to get into acting, you go to Edna Man, you go learn theater arts, and then when you graduate, boom, you're ready to go do a stage play, work with a theater company. We don't have much opportunity for film because we're not doing film on a regular basis like a US or a Canada or these other countries. And that's where I want to see Jamaica film industry go to, where we can do where filmmaking is not just a passion project, but a job, a real job. Because it's a real job, it's a real profession. And we want people can say, boy, man, when you ask them, what do you do? I'm a film actor. You're a professional actor. That's what you do for a living. And you're doing film acting. With Jamaica is both film and, theater, most of theater. And if you do a commercial, you don't really say anything in commercial, more just smile and look pretty. So, we need options where film making in Jamaica is not just a passion project. It's not just something I do because I love it. It's something I'm doing because it's a job. I'm getting paid for it.
So, question then now on your film after you go through all of that obia there and all of the magic of putting it together, even when you reshoot it and make it a better film than what you had before. What people take away from it? Or how people receive it so far?
Well, at the festival, people love it. The even in Toronto, the response from the audience when the film was featured at the festival, they were excited. They loved it. They were like, "Wow, this is good. We see Jamaica film industry going to a different level." Because usually when you see some film come out of Jamaica, it's a bad man film. I mean, our film have some gangster thing in it, but it wasn't 95% of it is not gangster. It's really about love and drama and all of that. So when people watch it and they give us the good feedback, I mean, there's so much I could have done better with the film. When I see people, or when I hear the things people are saying about it, it makes me feel good. It makes me know that people are taking away something from it. They're learning something. The emotions. Funny enough, we had a little research done. The producer had some persons came over his apartment. Group of people, pick people from different areas of the spectrum, people from different areas in Jamaica. We brought them to his apartment and we had a private screening. These are people who don't know about film, and we wanted to hear to see what was their response. And their response were some persons were angry with the main girl, some people is sorry for her, some people so the different emotions. When I do a film, I want people emotions to be challenged. I want when you ever watch a movie and when you're done what you want, you see some scene and you want ball. Me watch some movie and time some could start see me just full of tears. I want people emotions to riled up when they watch a film.
That I want him to tell Kevin most of the time. I think me tell Kevin. I'm pretty sure I said this to Kevin. I say, we don't want to make nothing that is lukewarm.
Mm-mm.
We need to make something, either somebody don't like it or they like it.
Yeah.
Because whatever the part of the spectrum them depend, you're going to get a reaction. Because if somebody don't like it, they must say, me never like it because of this and this and this and this and this. Me don't want to watch it again. Me don't want to watch it. Me would tell you not watch it.
Yeah.
And then somebody go, why you don't want me to watch it? Let me go
Yeah.
see it for myself. And then them go, yo, this was sick. This was good.
Yes.
You want that. You know the middle when people go, it's cool.
Yeah.
You're not going to hear nothing about it. That's why you hear sometimes when they talk about movie with great raving and so on. You see the film Francis Ford Coppola make the other day? Make a Populous, whatever your name.
Mm-hmm.
I bear bad reviews I hear about it, and even people who I seen in person, they must say, yo, don't waste your money, don't go watch it. And they make me want to watch it even more.
Like the Bob Marley film. When the Bob Marley film just came out, the reviews were, some of the reviews were bad. And Mr. Well, the reviews are bad. I need to watch it so I can review it for myself, because if everybody talk about it and say it's bad, something must be wrong. Some people say it was good, some people say it was bad. When I watched it, I said, wow, it was a very interesting film. Mark, the Jamaican dialect was not 100% delivered, but it was good, with the circumstances. But when I watched, I was like, yeah, and I analyzed the story. I said, listen, this film, many people not agree, but I was saying, like, when I watched it, and I watched it twice, I said, this film is not necessarily about Bob Marley. It's about Rita.
Love story.
But if you do a film about Rita Marley, nobody will watch it because nobody knows Rita Marley. But you have to use Bob Marley as the point
sell Rita.
to sell Rita. Because when you watch the film, it's really Rita. She went through the struggles of taking care of Bob Marley and pushing Bob Marley in spite of his assassination, in spite of his attempted assassination, in spite of the womanizing. So the story, if you think about it, highlighted Bob Marley in a bad way, but propelled Rita in an angelic way. And I said many people may not agree with me, but that's what I got from when I was watching it. It was really a Rita Marley story, but nobody knows Rita like that. So let me just push Bob Marley as the forefront, but still bringing Rita. And whoever wrote it, that was brilliant. That was brilliant writing there, because you really highlighted Rita, but didn't highlight Rita. You get what I'm saying?
You wrap up Rita in a Bob story.
Into Bob's story.
And I mean, listen, man, as you just say, there's no way to tell Rita without Bob. It's kind of weird. You know what I mean? You can, but she not. Let me not take that energy away from her. Like, she's not like. Let's not act like Rita isn't like a real big reason why Bob.
Rita was instrumental in Bob Marley.
Instrumental, but she's not a Portia Simpson. Where you go, Portia? We know Portia Simpson. So when I say somebody said they want to make a movie about Portia or Lisa Anna, you go, oh yeah, we know them people that like that. So yeah, and when me did watch it, I was like, I like the film. And I love films where I see people I know. It kind of take me into the story and put me even more into the story, because I'm just like, all right, look what the Papa Brethren, look what I got, yo. It was like, I love that, right? But then I came out of it saying, this feel like a watered down Bob Marley film. Nothing really going in this. Nothing really happened in that,
Yeah, because it didn't really highlighted Bob Marley's journey as how we know Bob Marley's journey. For the people who live in Europe and the people who live overseas, it
fulfilled them.
Yeah, it fulfilled them, because that's what they know about Bob Marley, and that's what they're getting about Bob Marley. But for us Jamaicans who really know the life of Bob Marley, or for other people who live overseas too, who know the life of Bob Marley, you're like, I think it missed some of Bob Marley's main points in his life. But the truth is, the film was never made for Jamaicans. It was never made for us.
That is the next thing too.
It was made for people in Europe.
That's the next thing too.
Idolize Bob Marley in a particular way, but yeah. Sorry, we went off on a tangent. I apologize.
No. I mean, go off on it, but that is what point we're trying to make is, we need to create an effect. I said long time, years ago. May I talk to somebody and I say, the things I want to make, I wanted to create a punch.
Yes.
I don't want somebody just watch it and go, okay. I needed to get irritated. Let me watch a movie. I go on screening last night. I watch a show. I watch a short screening of a bunch of shorts. I watch a short with a argument between a wife and a husband, and she's an alcoholic, and him just a smoke, and she tell him say, "Yo, that's for the cancer stick." And he might get irritated, and she's like, "I'm sorry for you getting upset at me trying to save your life," while she's an alcoholic with a DUI. And the moment him bring it up, the whole thing flip. And then me stand up there, I'm just like, "Oh my God." May I get flashbacks to what me go through, right? I'm just there squirm. I'm like, "Oh my God, this has stressed me out. This has stressed me out." And these are the things where you need something where go emotionally move you.
Can I say something to you? If as a filmmaker, your film don't take people on a roller coaster of emotions, give up. Your film's supposed to not just give a positive message or a negative message, whichever we want to put it, but it has to take you on a roller coaster of emotions. When I'm watching your film, I'm in it with the actor. I'm in the sad moment. I'm in the happy moment. I'm in the anger. I'm in the triumph moment when the actor triumph over something. I'm there. I'm a part of it. That's true effect of telling stories and having emotions in your film. Yeah.
Well, so now looking back, is there anything you would change
With
while
my
doing that film? Or
Yes.
differently? You'd have done differently with that film.
Yes, there's a lot I would have changed. Looking back, I wouldn't recast. That's the honest truth. I personally chose these actors because I wanted to give them an opportunity. So I wouldn't recast, but I would have gotten more experienced people on the crew, because I believe that was one, and also the downfall is we had a lot of people on the crew who were not 100% experienced in film. Most of them would have worked in music videos and other things like that. So being on set directing, I was also teaching, I was also educating people. So for me, I would have had more experienced people on set, so I don't have to worry about things that I worried about, and things falling off and things not happening the way it's supposed to. So yeah, I would have definitely brought on more experienced people. I would have definitely reshoot a lot of scenes that were shot. A lot of scenes that were shot, I was like, I wish I'd done that over. So yeah, reshooting some of the scenes and also bringing on more experienced people and getting a bigger budget.
Sir, I think I hear you talk about it when I was on set in Jamaica. And then I just saw the trailer today. Today, my first message the trailer, I say, yo, I mark this. I mark like a secret, like a secret soldier that do some badness, and you didn't even know same do them badness there. And now I know that you're an actor. I never knew you were an actor at all. I just always think
A
you
lot of
just
people don't know because
AD or direct.
because my acting was, I did a few acting, but a lot of the acting that I didn't record them, because while I love acting, I don't like to see myself on screen. I hate seeing myself on screen. Whenever time I look back on myself on TV, when I used to come on TV series, I'm like, oh, it's cringe. And those productions were low budgeted production, but they still came on TV. But I was like, I don't like seeing myself on screen. So that's why I really get out of acting, because I don't like to see myself on screen.
Okay. What? Oh, Kevin, I got
Yes.
take over.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah. So we're going to shift gears a little bit, right? Because I think we've
Talked about my movie a lot.
we've dove deep into your movie. We've dove deep into your career. But one aspect that we haven't really got into is the teaching side of things, right? You've spent a lot of time teaching, and it's very interesting because a lot of people don't know you're a teacher. But one of the very cool things about being a teacher is that sometimes your students speak for you, because who was it I was talking to the other day? I have a student, hopefully I remember her correctly, but I shared I shared the fact that we are gonna have you on this, and I said, who wants to ask him questions? And one of my students said, oh, I know him, right? No, did she say that I know him? No, sorry, lies. She said that somebody taught her. I asked her how she got into film, and I think she said when she was at CPTC, somebody taught her, and she don't remember the name. And I said, is it Mark? And she said, Anthony? And I said, yeah. She said, yes, he was my teacher. I think her name is Javera. I don't know if you know that name.
I taught
Yeah,
I
I'm
taught
sure you taught a lot of
hundreds
students.
of students at MTI, so I would have probably met with her.
Yeah, is it she? Can't remember if it was she. Can't put out somebody else, but was it Javera or was it oh God, that's what the girl said she
The
did.
name will come to you.
Yeah, the name will come to me. The name will come to me. But you know, when she said that, I said, okay, well, like she like basically said, you know, you're an inspiration. But when the name come back to me, I'll let you know. But
Yeah.
you've taught acting, you taught writing and directing?
I have taught basic writing, basic directing, because the program at MTI is not, it's an introductory course into film and television. So it is a certificate course, but it's not they do have associate course. Those are bigger, longer course. But when I'm teaching the summer program there, it's more I go in depth with them. As I say, I give them a little of directing, acting, shooting, lighting, audio, producing, and writing, and so on. So the course is not in depth because it's just a introduction. So to get them introduced to the whole art of film and television. So
And what's your philosophy behind when it comes to film education?
when it comes to film education, when it comes to teaching people about film and television, for me it is my philosophy really is building. I like to build. So if I teach you, you get in love with it, you teach somebody else, right? So each one reach one. So I have been teaching at the MTI in their summer program for I would say 5 years and or more. And teaching in that program, my greatest accomplishment is to see the students not just come there on us in the summer learning about film and television and say, all right, then me done, me not get my certificate, me move on, me not interested no more. But it's seeing them actually pursuing the thing. So I've had students who, many of them I can call, who literally know is doing film production, who have gone on to study overseas in universities overseas to get their film degrees, you know? Students who are actually filming or who got involved in acting, who got involved in writing. So I would say for me, you know, that's huge. That's huge.
Cool. Um, the what advice would you give aspiring filmmakers who are just starting out?
What I would say to the aspiring filmmakers out there who are just starting out, don't give up. You will have challenges, you will have difficulties, but don't give up. Be a storyteller. Be someone who wants to tell stories. Um, and do the actual film. Don't sit down. One of the exercises I do with my students before we get into the class, I will say to them, think of your favorite movie. Think of your favorite sitcom, your favorite TV show, your favorite cartoon, animation, whatever. And tell me, when you think about it, write it down. And tell me if those persons who did those films and those animation and those series and those TV show, do you think that they thought at the time it was a dumb idea? All the negativity they get, they thought it was a dumb idea? No. I said to them, when you have an idea, it is an idea. No idea is dumb. No idea is stupid. Every idea is brilliant. When Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook with his friends or by himself, when he came up with the idea of Facebook, I mean, he never think it was a dumb idea. He thought it was a brilliant idea. Look at the idea now. So I said, every idea you have, write it down and pursue that idea. So I would say to the young filmmakers, if you have an idea for a film, write it down, start writing a film, and network. Find people, reach out to people to say, hey, I have a film I'm doing. I want some help on it. Reach out to me, you know? Say, hey, I have a film I am doing. I want some advice on it. You know, what's my advice? What's the advice you can give me to make this film better? So don't just sit there and be like, oh, well, the industry now go on good and I don't know what to do. Reach out to people, communicate with people, have conversations with them, and pursue your ideas. You know, don't give up on your dreams. If you want to become a filmmaker, you can do it. And if you want to get the necessary training, there are different universities, different school, different programs you can go. MTI is one of them. If you don't want to do a 4-year degree, you know, MTI is there that offers an associate and that offers also what you call certificate courses. You know, so you can go to the Media Technology Institute, you can go to the UWI, you can go to UTech, and you can pursue these trainings if you want to go into training. But if you just want to really do films, do them and network with people. Get your friends and your family to be a part of it. Start off with video your family and friends. Put them in some little thing. I love to watch people when they do the little YouTube shorts. I love to watch those small little YouTube shorts because I say, boy, this is where it started from to it become something big. So don't give up.
Cool. How do you think Jamaica can improve its education? How can it, especially filmmaking education specifically, how can it grow and improve it?
Well, I thought you were going to ask me, oh, can Jamaica improve on the filmmaking? But you asked me about education. I'd rather the question ask me what you think Jamaica should
Film
do
medication.
to make
Film
filmmaking
medication.
better.
Well, film education is better for you then, to ask you about film education.
I mean, I wouldn't say Jamaica could improve on their film education. I would say Jamaica should improve on their film industry. And how I would say Jamaica, and I mean, this may not answer your question, Kevin, but I love to talk about the Jamaican film industry. And we have
well, I mean, all right, we're going to get to that, but before we get to that, let me close off the teaching segment.
You're passionate about film education.
Yeah, no. Because there's one question I wanted to ask you, film education wise, before I get into the industry.
Well,
I do have that question.
So film education, to improve on your film education is, I don't think Jamaica needs to improve really, because we have filmmakers who went overseas and who even were trained locally and who are doing films locally are good educators. People like yourself, Kevin, who is teaching at the UE in film and media. Of course, people like you who are doing films. My thing is, what upsets me is people who go do the film, go to university overseas, learn about filmmaking, and they've never done a film in their life, other than when they practice at school, and when they come, they want to tell you, this is how the film should be done, and scrutinizing your film, and you have never done a film. Those things upset me, because you don't have the experience that I have doing a film, go through the grunt work of doing a film. So why are you going to educate me about it and you can't tell me, say, the water tastes good if you never drink the water. You get what I'm saying? But people like you, Kevin,
of completing something.
People like you, Kevin, who is doing film, not just teaching, but you're doing it. People like you are good educators. People like Joshua Paul, who is teaching about film production at UTech, but he has a wealth of experience in film production. So I believe to improve on educating people when it comes to filmmaking is actually find people who just don't have a master's degree or a degree in film production, but who's actually doing film. Because you can teach me about filmmaking, give me the theories, but when it comes to really doing film, man like a Mark Lecky who may not have, I don't know if Mark Lecky have a bachelor's degree in filmmaking, but man like Mark Lecky who know the grunt work of film production, know the ins and out of a camera assistant and directing and all of that, and know out and DPing. Man like Mark Lecky, me I sit down and say me take a lesson from. You get what I'm saying? Because Mark Lecky, I've been there and he has done that. You come in with your big degree and say, oh, and the film you're telling me about what you learn at university. I want you to tell me what have you learned on set. The greatest experience is the people who have experienced it.
You make a good point a while ago, because I remember I was working on a music video in Jamaica, and see, I may have talked to somebody and they were talking about black, the color black. And I was like, yeah, black is the absence of light, right? And then he was saying something else. And he was sure just because he went to school and did physics, right? I'm gonna say to you, bro, you're talking about black in a whole different context. May I talk about black when it comes to cinematography and color and light. You're talking about black in a something else. And this is what I don't like about educated people in Jamaica, or certain educated people in Jamaica. It's because they have a degree, or they went to a certain school, or they're from a certain area with a certain degree and so on. They think they are smarter than you, and they know more than you. And they have not even done half of the work what you have done. So you've done the hard work, that you put your hand in it and you've done the work. They've just done it theoretically, and they think they know more than you. And in that moment when that happened to me that day, I was like, I'm not even gonna have that conversation now. Because
Give a joke. I can't. Hold on, Kevin. I can't tell you about. I can. All right, a person from the university can come and teach you about. Oh, this is our product. These are the different roles on a set. You know, you have a production assistant, and these are the production. I can tell you what a production assistant do. If you want to be a good production assistant, guess what? You have to have good backbone. Because production assistant PAs get the worst shit on set ever. I was once a PA, and I can tell you it's not nice, because some people who are cocky treat you like crap. So to be a good PA, you have to have what? A strong backbone. And I can tell that from experience. So teaching people about film is good, but teach me from experience, not from what you learn out of a book. Experience teaches wisdom.
Yeah, and bro, listen. One more story is
So
we don't want to
make a point about the physics.
Go ahead. Make a point.
That I would say that even with the physics, that guy was wrong, because even in physics, black is the absence of light. Because anytime you see a material and it is showing you black, it means that that material is absorbing all of the light. Because light is white, and what ends up happening is when you see a color, basically that object, right, is absorbing every single color in the spectrum of light except red. Right? So that is why you see red, because it is reflecting red. That is the only color from that spectrum that is reflecting red. When you see a rainbow, it is light passing through a prism, right? They say water droplets, and separating the frequencies of light. So that's why you see those colors in the rainbow. And then the thing now is that when you see white, it's all the colors combined. Now the thing is, on the switch side, somebody might say, oh, but when I take crayons to create black, I have to mix all of the colors to get black. And to get white, I have to have no colors. So how comes it's the opposite? And it's not the opposite if you go back to physics and you look on what is being reflected. When you put down all of those crayon colors to get black, you're basically laying down materials, different materials, the different colors, the different materials that are absorbing the frequency of light. And that is why you see black, right?
I learned something about physics.
The problem is, again, if you don't understand, a lot of people read these things in books, and because they don't apply it practically, they can't contextualize it. They read one thing in a physics book, and then they try to apply that model, but because they, as I said, they don't have the experience of applying it, they don't fully understand it. So when they're contesting like about black being absence of light and I try use physics, them never fully use them physics. They never fully understand the physics with them learn. But that's all I had to say.
Yeah.
So, Mark, I have a degree in visual effects. So
No, I wasn't.
no. I'm not contest you. The point of me say it I go towards something. I have a degree in visual effects. Zine. So if you never did know about my degree, that's the degree I have. That degree there culminates computer science, right? It's applied science. So computer animation, MGD, motion graphics, that's what that is. You know what I mean? So I remember when I was in school, getting that degree, and we had a teacher, and he was the visual effects supervisor, or whatever you call it. He was in charge of the visual effects curriculum classes, right? And I guess one of the teacher them drop out or something, and him drop in one day, and we saw his reel. And when we saw his reel, the whole of we did a laugh. Right? And you know why we were laughing? Because we wonder, oh, you are teach we, and you now working at the industry, and you show us with this foolishness. And the thing is, the work we must show us was students' work, not his work. And some of the work we must show that was his work was foolishness. And the whole of we just dead. Yo, the whole of we dead with laugh. You may say?
Yeah.
I'm about to show a lot of these schools where you go and teachers are teaching filmmaking or whatever. I mean, when you're young, you don't think about it. But you see, if me go back and forget a master's program and you tell me, say you are teaching me filmmaking and you're not working on set, at least 2 times a year or every weekend or something, me not learn nothing modern from you.
And
You
it's not like
teach me some things from long time.
discrediting going to school to learn film. If you want to go to school to learn film and television, I would say go ahead and do it. Because I went and did some formal training. I went and studied. But what I would say to people is if you're going to teach it, teach from experience. Because nothing teaches wisdom than experience. You can't say this is how you should do film and you have never done a film before. You understand, man? I think the best film teachers or the best film educators out there are the ones who have done film. If you look at I can't remember his name. He's a filmmaker. He wears glasses. Funny looking glasses. I can't remember. He's a black guy. His name is on the top of my head, but I can't remember. But a lot of filmmakers out there, even Spielberg. Spielberg has never went to film school, but Spielberg will teach filmmaking because guess what? He's teaching from experience. I would say still go ahead and learn filmmaking. Still go and get an education in filmmaking, but real filmmaking is not just I'm going to get a master's degree and a bachelor. It's really doing films, doing it, going out there and setting up your stuff and do it.
You know, we just had on Dario, and trust me when I tell you, say, bro, I see why I'm stay. Because he might put in the work for learn. He might create him own things for learn. And you see when somebody do that right there, so you can't really, I'm sorry, but you can't really chat to them, you know.
Yeah. That's
because if you not do nothing and you tell me to do something what you not do, you can't chat to me.
And that's why I admire Dario. Dario is somebody who, in spite of what people may say about him, Dario is somebody who never gave up on his vision and his dream. Dario creates his own lane. Dario is a person, and Dario is not a person who is not a person who said, "Well, I don't want advice." He takes the advice and he works on them, and that's what I admire.
That too.
And he never.
That too. Because when I talked to him the other day, we say, me a pre-time, I say, when you're weary, like, could he just be here, just for talk? But then you hear him talk and what must say, and he does take advice. I say, Jaja. So this dude just needs somebody solid for your work with him.
Yeah.
That's
You
that's
can go
what
ahead, Kevin, and ask the question
that's-
about the industry.
I'm going to ask it no, but I just wanted to put a full stop on that point where Dario is concerned. I think a lot of the reason why Dario is misunderstood, him come across as a little bit cocky or arrogant, and this is something I've said to his face, so he won't be surprised by me saying this. But I think part of it is growing up in a neck of the woods where there are not many options. When you grow up in Mobile traditionally, hotel you go work, right? There's no aspiring to be a filmmaker.
If they are clearing on a farm, you go do.
So, right. It's either you're a farmer or a tourist,
A tour,
right?
yeah.
Or you come to Kingston.
Yeah.
And he decided he wanted to make it in film. He was an accountant, decided he want to make it in film. But who is there to give him advice? Who is there to mentor him? Where is he going to get trained? So he had to put himself in a mental space, an arrogant mental space that tells him, I am the greatest and I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
Now, whether that is a false narrative or not, whether people hate fake it till you make it or not, the fact of the matter it is a very good mindset and a very good fuel to keep propelling you, right? And you have to keep telling yourself that no matter what anybody tells you. Because when I was getting into the film industry, a lot of people discouraged me. They said, Doug, stick to your IT, film thing don't make no sense. And I had to literally lie to people when I went on set. Because when the mayor said I go up on set and I get paid, you must say, what you do? Waste your time. So I had to lie to people because I didn't want people telling me not to do it, right? And I think sometimes, you have to lie to yourself in order to make sure that people don't discourage you.
True.
And that's what he had to do in that way. The thing is, him come out of my building and that attitude looks wrong. It's like, where the brother I come from with this attitude and yada, yada, yada. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Dario. We're here to talk about the film industry. So your question here now.
The truth is, before that book ended, the truth is, you just kind of need to be crazy and delusional.
Exactly,
in the sport.
You do.
That's all.
Yeah. You do. I said all the while, I said every filmmaker in the world, especially in Jamaica, something wrong with them. Something wrong with we for keep on and do this.
Yep.
But we do it.
I have been discouraged a lot. There are times before I even started doing a lot of big productions, there are times when I was doing the small ones and I was working with some people. Yeah, so much time I go out, I set a hungry, I kill me like a dog, and I only the food, the local craft service alone could have saved my life. But I go back in my yard, hungry, that kill me, and I'm not getting paid enough. I'm not driving a big car. I'm not, because I get a big money. But the truth is, people say, boy, when mad people that do this, people say, get rid of the hobby and find something else important to do. Go ahead.
Right. All right. So I want to know your view on the current state of the Jamaican film industry. And this is where you can throw in your answer. Yeah, man.
Yeah. No, what do you call it? Okay, so Jamaican film industry for me, and I say it before and I'm going to say it again. People will not agree with me, but in the past, I did say it. I said, Jamaica, we have a creative industry, but not a film industry. To have a film industry, we need what is called distribution. We need an avenue where we do the films and we have them being distributed. We have them being shown in our local theaters without even us buying a slot on in the local theaters. Carib, take our films and have it on them listing. That's what we need. Because the truth is, what we're doing, we don't really have a film industry. We may say we have film commissions and we have this and we have that and I give big kudos to Draft and I give big kudos to the film commission, commissioner now and the film commission. I think the film commissioner now, she's doing a very fantastic job and I love that about her. But the truth is, we have a creative industry. We don't have a film industry because we don't have distribution. Because the truth is, we're doing films based on just like passion project. Because the truth is, when we do this, when a man like Kevin put all his millions of dollars into doing a film. What's the next step? You know, him put it into a film festival. That's it. It's not being distributed. It's not being shown on Netflix. It's not. And it's not like we're not giving good. We're not creating or making good quality films. We have moved away from the days of Third World Cup and Dancehall Queen, which those are classic films and those were shot properly. But we have moved away from shooting on P2 camera, and now we're shooting on Black Magic and all these cameras, and we're not shooting on tape anymore. We're shooting on what is called cards and so on. So we are creating brilliant films here. We're creating films that looks good, sound good, good stories, but we don't have distribution. Difference between us and Africa. Africa have distribution. They have people over there who are willing to spend millions of dollars on their film, and their films are shown in their local theater. It's on their local theater listing. Their films, now you realize Netflix is taking African products, you know, African films. What we need is distribution, and I think the current film commissioner, including yourself, Kevin, should work on getting distribution for the local film industry. A man who have $1 million or worth a company like a Digicel or a Flow now go spend their money on or sponsor a film, because guess why? Guess why? No? They don't see where they're going to get back the returns. Because they said, well, I waste some money on this film, we'll see where we get back the returns. If we have an avenue for distribution, we will realize, or we will come to that point where people start spend money on our film. A man have a $2, $3, $4 million, he must give it to a filmmaker because he realize he must get him return. Because guess what? This is a film now that is being distributed. He knows if he got a Carib and he have to rent out Carib space, Carib have it on him listing, people go in there and watch the film, him get money. What we need, and I think we should do that as a Caribbean country, or the CARICOM, and I think Jamaica should be the leader for that, have our Caribbean film network where we are doing distribution, where a film from Jamaica is shot, we can bring it to, it is in theaters in the Bahamas, it is in theater in Trinidad, it is in theaters in Guyana, it is in theaters in St. Kitts and Nevis, it is in their theaters, on their theater listing, showing. You understand me? That we renting out the theater and so we will show it, showing, and we get the money from that. That's what we need. We need distribution. So when it comes to having a film industry here, I would say we have a creative industry, not really a film industry. Because to have a film industry, you need distribution. And our films are not being distributed. When me and you do a film, it's really a passion project. It's really something we just do because we love it, and we get few awards overseas, but we're not really, and we have to broke our neck to try and get it on Netflix. We need backative. We need backative from the government, and we need backative from corporate Jamaica, people who are willing to spend money so that it is not just a hobby for us, it's a career. I know when I get up in the morning, I can say, yes, I'm a filmmaker because I have a job as a filmmaker. What we're doing in Jamaica is creating a lot of commercials, doing a lot of music videos, and doing theater plays, but we're not really doing film. We're not doing films. You know why we're not doing films? Because we don't have distribution, and people are not encouraged to spend money on films because they don't know where the return is coming from. And if you pitch the idea to them, say, boy, the return will come in one of these days, they're not going to believe you. So we need distribution. And to get distribution, we need our local theater. And I always say, Carib, I mean, I call them out, Carib, link up with the local filmmakers and get their films and show it on your big screen. Don't make me have to come rent out your theater with my own money because take my film because think my film will bring in money. Take it, put it on your listing. So when a man come and say, all right, then Spider-Man I show this week, behind closed door I show this week, and people are coming into the theaters and watching these films. And you can't sit in your office and say it will never happen. You don't know. And then you realize no filmmakers are not resorting in putting their films on YouTube And that's how we get them get the money from views. We don't need that. We don't need to water down our films and put it on YouTube. We need to have our films shown in the local theater. And I will say this to Kevin and the film commissioner. Please engage Carib and let them know that the industry is growing. And we have creative people who are telling real stories, good stories, and they are shot properly. Put them, engage them, and make them know so they need to put up. They might have to, if you're going to the pattern now, they might have to time take films from overseas and run, bring it, come here. Or if overseas people come from overseas and come film here, they want to take those shows and put. No, there are local people who are doing great things. Use them up, and I'm passionate about it. Use them up, take their films, engage them, and stop making people and put them film on damn YouTube and waste them time. Take the films because they're creative people.
So wait there, Mark,
Sorry.
Mark, give the other Mark a chance.
You drink some water. Sorry, but just passionate.
Yeah, go sip some water. So, it's crazy because I've said this to Kevin before, and I think this is something that every film theater in Jamaica should look at. It's I think it works good for the short films is to play like them play the national anthem, and or you watch all the trailer them before a film come on. Put a little space in there for a Jamaican short film.
Of course.
In every theater.
You can have a collective of short films, and you may not charge a big bucks as well that charge for a feature film. Give the people my boss. Give them a boss, man.
Yeah. And I would have said to Mark that this has been pursued. When I was in JAFTA in the exec, it was something we pursued back in 2019. Maybe even as early as 2018. But I know for sure 2019 because we almost got that going. But then 2020 hit and the pandemic hit, and it just killed that whole initiative altogether, right? And I don't think we would have been the first to suggest it or try it. Even the Caribbean thing, I've suggested it many times in many ways, but the unfortunate truth is that the Caribbean just don't talk to each other. They don't trust each other on a, higher level. But I do know there are some people trying it now, like Joel Ayuk. I think he's from either Martinique or St. Martin, can't remember. He's a filmmaker. I don't remember. I think he's part St. Martin or Martinique, can't remember. And I don't remember which African country. He's trying to be a distributor for the Caribbean, or at least the East, because he has a movie called Chokehold. And Chokehold is doing really well, winning up a lot of awards. And he got it into some theaters in the Caribbean, but he said it was such a struggle. And he don't really want other filmmakers to struggle like how he struggled. So he's trying to become a distributor in the Caribbean.
I'm listening.
Right. So that when you have your film, you can get it in different Caribbean countries. And then there's Ava Brown in Jamaica, who's trying to do it for the western side of Jamaica, or the Caribbean, sorry. She have links with, I think, Film Hub. Film Hub is a international aggregator, so she's one of their aggregators. So it's being tried, but boy, it is a long road. It is a long road.
It is.
I agree. It is so needed.
It is, but Kevin, it becomes.
The truth of the matter is, when you create a film, people don't realize this. People think that, oh, I have a brilliant film. It's a great idea. Why nobody not giving me money? Like you said, you have to show how the return on investment is going to come in. Because if you ask a party shop, Tasties, for example, or you ask ATL, or you ask Kosher, anybody, and you say, give me $15 million for this film. Because I think realistically, $15 million is the least. 15 million Jamaican is the least amount of money you need to create a feature film. Anything less than that, and you have big favors. Now, when you say to Tasties, I want $15 million, they're going to look on it and say, okay, here's the the what's it call it? Cost benefit analysis, right? Cost benefit analysis, for those who don't know, is, I was straying a little bit, but for those who don't know, it is when something is going to cost me, what is the benefit of spending my money on this versus the money on that? And if I'm going to make a loss on this, or if there's a risk that I'm not going to make money on this, but it's guaranteed I'm going to make money on that. And if I put my money into this, I don't have money to put into that. I'm going to rather put my money into the thing that is sure. Now, if I take $15 million and put that into flour, beef, lard, and seasoning, right? And a couple chef, I'm going to get $15 million worth of patty for sell. And if patty costs $200, that means I'm going to make 200 times 15 million, guaranteed, because people are going to buy patty every day. There's no doubt about it, right? If tomorrow come and nobody no buy patty, I would be shocked. That is almost an impossibility, right? Unless pandemic or hurricane come, impossible. But if I put $50 million into your field now, that have to go produce, take a month or two to produce, couple more months to edit, then you have to go market it, and then you have to go all over the world to different festivals. So 2 years, my $15 million lockup, right? And then after that film festival run, there's no guarantee I'm making that money back, because you put it on a platform, it'll take a while for the money to trickle in. My investors are now going to say, you know that you could have put the $15 million in patty and we would have been $1 billion in profit. Now, wait on, I understand where you're going.
But I'm going to, okay.
But hold on. So the thing is, it's segueing back to your point. This is why the distribution is important, because if you go to an investor now and you say, put $15 million into my movie, right? Instead of buying that fancy car that you can sell easily for only more money, right? I can now say that, listen, when you put the $15 million into the movie, I have a guarantee from this particular distributor, say, let's say Ava Brown or Joel Ayuk, right? Both people who are passionate about getting the films into these spaces and them have the connections. And I can show you that this theater have 100 seats, that theater have 200 seats, that theater have 300 seats. On average, movies like this sell out the theater for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks straight. I can directly calculate for you how that money is coming back. Once I can calculate that for you, you feel secure in lending me the money, because you say, oh, the money are going to come back, man, because based on what you show me, it makes sense, because you already have a guarantee that it's going to come out in the cinemas. It's not you running up and down for 2 years trying to beg people to show your film. We know it's going to be shown. So you're right, distribution is needed, because without it, you can't give the investors confidence that you're going to make money.
I'm saying, if, because everybody wants their film to Netflix, go on Amazon Prime and all that. But if the local theaters show your film, that becomes a buzz. Everybody go want Netflix and all these people want it.
Exactly.
Because there's a buzz that has been created by the local theater. If Carib decide that, listen, we're going to start taking some Jamaican films, and we don't say you have to take every Jamaican film. You go through and you take the right ones, the good ones, the best ones. Take a Jamaican film and you have them on your thing. And we be say, oh, Jamaican people don't support local filmmakers. True, but if Carib, which is a big place, can say, well, all right then, I have Jamaican Mafia, I have Kevin Jackson big film on my listing, right? Somebody say that, and one or two persons go watch it. It creates a buzz. And you have the local TV station, you show your trailer, you say show it in Carib, put it in your local papers, whatever it is. The local theater needs to support the Jamaican filmmakers. That's how we get started. We can't dance abroad if we don't dance a yard first. If those who are yard now support you, how we get to go up on Netflix? We need the local theater to support the people. Give an example. Kevin, so what, told us a little trailer talk. So we need that. And if Jamaica is like the mum of the Caribbean. If Kevin Jackson film is being shown in Carib and it create a big buzz, I'm certain a theater in a theater house in screening, or what you call it, theater in Bahamas will want Kevin film, because them realized it became something big and it was on Carib website and reviews were good. A theater in Guyana going to need it too. So what I'm saying is that if the local theater is not supporting the filmmakers, we're just going to end up putting it on YouTube. I tell people, Jamaica do more commercial than America and England and Canada. We do commercial 4 or 5 times for the month.
So hold on. I don't want us to get too deep in this because honestly, I want this to be a discussion by itself. Because I'll be honest, this could be a 2-hour discussion, and I want to be in that discussion playing an antagonist, right? Because there are things I'm going to say that a lot of filmmakers won't like, but it is the reality. But I'm not going to get into that tonight. What I want to do, because we have to wrap this up soon, because we can tell you right now, I'm looking into the future, and right now the viewers are watching this on YouTube going, the discussion is nice, but long no fart. Like,
exactly. And no, the film industry thing, trust me, we internally have that conversation there for hours.
Yeah.
So we need to bring on people.
And we'll open up a can of worms. We'll open up a can of worms if we go.
No, because let me tell you, one of the things I want to get into is the hubris of our local filmmakers, which we can't get into tonight. But the hubris of our local filmmakers thinking that their films are great, or thinking that everything they make is great, when not only are the films not as great as they think. Yes, they look good. Yes, they sound good. Yes, for the most part, the acting is getting better. But there's still a little problem with the storytelling. There's a lot of problems with the marketing.
But they will get better, Kevin. They will get better.
We never said no. I agree.
They're encouraged. Because hold on. If Carib said me go take Kevin Jackson film, right? And Mark Lecky said, boy, we shut it my film, because my film, and Carib said to Mark Lecky, Mark Lecky, so this is the reason why we take a film. After looking at it, after reviewing it with the board, we said, boy, your film need this, your film need that. Mark Lecky is good, but you have a potential to get shown in Carib. Mark Lecky is going to push himself the next time around to create good stories, to create a better film, because he knows that there's a goal. If there is no goal, how you're going to be encouraged to something?
Give me 1 second. When you did a go for a while ago, that is exactly what I'm thinking about Carib. I say it's just like having a film festival. When you have a film festival, and me and Kevin talked about this already. When you have a film festival and you have international people enter your festival from a different country, and they come with some other shit, some really good stuff, it pushes you to be better. So when you say Carib is now a standard for you go watch, so now you never go watch, you know, go Carib for go watch film like one last time. You go Carib for go see if them are gonna show your film after the trailer, before the trailers before the film start. It's an old other reason that no for make money, you know.
Yeah.
It's like built in, and you don't.
You're gonna say encouragement, sweeten labor. If I know the Caribbean now is going to show Jamaican films, it will encourage me to do a better film.
Deacon, we'll invite you back for that debate. All right, and I'm gonna be the antagonist in there. So anyway,
we're gonna bookmark it. We're gonna bookmark it. What should we bookmark this as? Jamaica industry. I think we already have it actually. Jamaica industry. I think we probably already have it.
I think this one. We need something that is specifically focused on.
In filming.
Why no? What is the reason for the lack of distribution in the Caribbean?
Yeah.
Why is regional distribution the key to the success of Caribbean film industry? That's what we need to focus on. Is it the key? All right, or are we barking up the wrong tree?
Because we have a Hollywood, we have a Bollywood, we have a Hollywood, and Canada have their own, and England have. We need the Caribbean countries need to come together. Listen, the Caribbean is big. We have millions of people in the Caribbean, billions. We need these people.
Billions. It's not billions.
Not billions, but millions of people. These people will support
exactly.
They will support a film, because I'm certain if Kevin Jackson do a real good film and bring it to a theater, these are questions that I talk to people from Guyana. I've talked to people from and I ask them about their film industry. And Jamaica is leading when it comes to the Caribbean in creative
All
industry.
right.
'Cause still,
So
we don't have a film industry.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think local filmmakers can compete on the global stage?
How?
Yeah,
By
because since we don't have local and regional distribution, how can we compete on the global
okay,
stage?
but we can't compete yet because we don't have the funding to compete. Because
Mm,
to make a good film, you need money. Because me
mm,
and you, and it's not like a person who have them own equipment and them have a few money we can pay for actor, but they don't have to pay for equipment. So that a company have them all of them equipment, this fine, they can shoot the film and all that. But like a me and you who don't have equipment and we have to rent equipment, we need money. So to compete, you need money because let me tell you something. Jamaica is not lack of story. And that's the reason why international filmmakers come here. Not because of, yes, we have a beautiful location, but because we have good stories. And they come here for that. Jamaicans, we tell good stories. We may not tell it as effective as some people, but we tell good stories. Watch a news brief and watch a eyewitness, a gay, his or her story about the situation that happened. Very creative, very flamboyant. We tell good stories and we have good stories in Jamaica. We have a beautiful location. And yes, we want the foreigners to come and shoot in Jamaica, but we in Jamaica need to start use up the locations we have because it's beautiful.
So wait there.
In order for us to get there, we need money. And this money can come from people in Jamaica who have the money.
All right, on that note, because we
sorry,
forget last time. Wait there.
wait,
One, no,
no,
never
it's
even
not a
forget
point. It's not a
again.
point. It's a
It's not a-
bookmark.
Okay.
Can you bookmark this topic?
So what are bookmarks?
How can we get our film to the diaspora?
Okay.
Yeah.
Copy. Got it. You did say this last time, I'm gonna forget. I think I came upon an epiphany just now. Unless I just something I go on already, I want to think about this, I may never think about it. But one, Jamaica liquor. We do have a lot of rich people. We do have a lot of people who want to write off things. So, because not a lot of times people want to write off things, those are the angel investors, right? We may have a lot of rich people, but they don't care for filmmaking. And if they do care for filmmaking, they're gonna invest in them friends.
We have a lot
That's
of
what we
rich
call
people
it.
who are not on paper. We have a lot of rich people who are not on paper. Because I've been to some places. And I've
No, but we
seen
messing
some
up.
rich people.
We messing up.
But they're not the Michael Lee Chin.
But we know. Give me 1 second. But I believe if we had a place like America where a lot of people will just give money just because they want to write it off or they want to give it to charity, I think we'll find more money. What we going through is we have to try to work with grace. Whoever these big companies, Digital, Lime, and so on, that trying to make their own content, so they don't really care about our thing. You understand? And if you're gonna use their sponsor, you have to put their product in your thing, which kind of not a problem sometimes. But if it doesn't fit in the story, it doesn't fit. You see what I say?
But Mark, quickly, TVJ, CVM, these are our local TV stations. These local TV stations can and should get local content from our local content developers.
Yeah, but they had a different. No, but they had a different model. They're changing that now. We have the conversation here like last week, you know. They change. It a change. You see what I say? We don't want to say much, but it's.
I'm not saying it's not changing.
Well,
I'm not saying it's not changing, but I'm saying more needs to be done because
Yeah,
we have a lot of people. Hold on, we have a lot of people. So, say for example, she's a very brilliant writer, and so say writes some very good series. But the truth is, we don't have the local people now take it. We need the local stations to start taking because we have some real good content now. When I see when Empire just came out and I see all TVG and CVM, sorry, TVG at the time took Empire. I said, but look much people in here could have do them own Empire, could have do them own power. We can get it. We just need people to believe. What we need is the people to believe in us. We need people to believe in us.
But in order to do that, in order to get that, we have to create proper product. That's one big thing.
but I'm saying, Mark, like we are creating proper product. Listen to me. We are doing the best with what we have. We are doing it. If you look at some of the things that we have done so far over the years, it looks good. Listen, I was watching something on Netflix the other day.
Look good, easy forget
No,
now.
it's not about looking good. I was watching something on Netflix the other day. My wife introduced me to.
Yeah.
About it's an African series, and when I watched the entire season 1, there were a lot of mistakes. There were a lot of things that I think could change, could be better in terms of storytelling, in terms of acting. But Netflix took it. You know why Netflix took it? Because it had a lot of big African actors and actresses in it. But because Africa loved it, and the African people supported it,
but
and
the
African
next
people were
thing too.
pushing, so they took it.
The next thing too. If you go up on roadside of Jamaica, you know which DVD sell the most?
Give me an example.
African movie, African show. Them they sell the most. So if Netflix pick up that and go, African people don't care about quality. Them just care about the story.
That's what I'm saying.
The sus we're going in the story.
But to what Deacon is saying, that if we can get it into the region, because let me just lay down some numbers, right? The English-speaking Caribbean is about 10 million people. The Spanish-speaking Caribbean is about another 50 million people. And then of course you have the French and Dutch Caribbean, which is not as much, but then you have South America, you have Central America, right? If our content is in Spanish, we can get a huge number of people. And then once a lot of people start taking interest, Netflix is going to take interest. Right now, the problem is at 2-point-something million people, if we get 1 million of our people to watch it, that's not a big deal to Netflix. They're going to be like, that's not enough for me to pay attention. But look at Nigeria. Nigeria is 200 and plus million people alone. South Africa is 63 million people. Right? Now, if Netflix is showing South African content, and South Africa is 63 million. Our Caribbean English and Spanish speaking is about the same. So if we can get it across the Caribbean at interest, we can get a Netflix attention. But right now, we're not even showing in the local theaters, much less the local TV stations. So Netflix not paying attention to what
we don't mind.
Sure.
Yeah, if we have the local people start supporting, I said, dance here before you go abroad. If we have the local industry start support you'll find that the Caribbean will start support You'll find that everybody will start supporting us, brother. But it's a step, But if we don't have our own people here, our own theater here who don't believe in us, or we go and get the people from the Caribbean to believe in us. We need those people to believe in us. So let me tell you something. Yes, in terms of shooting, we are shooting good. In terms of, and I'm not going to say that our acting is bad. Our acting is 10 times better than some of the African people. Our writing is. We have very good writers in Jamaica.
All right. Let's start wrapping up on this.
Yes.
We're gonna wrap up that whole conversation about the industry on this last question, and then we're gonna ask you about 5 more questions or 4 more questions, and then, as a man say, because I think this energy that we have here, we can continue. As a matter of fact, when we hang up the phone, when we turn off the recording, we might continue chatting. But let's take the approach of Sean Paul. Right? Let's be honest. A lot of us never really appreciate Sean Paul in Jamaica until in bus abroad. So how about that? Say in my case, coming and live down there. So in my case, or in other filmmakers' case, you think we should just dance abroad and then bring it a yard? And usually our Jamaica stay with the old foreign-minded business. Some of the time they would be quicker to take somebody thing that created abroad and play it a yard before them take something with a yard.
But here's the difficulty with that. Here's the drawback with that, Mark Lecky. America.
Call them a whole name.
No.
Even the whole name that they already
Mark
on the podcast. But yeah, go on.
America is big. America in film industry is huge. It is harder to branch out in America film industry, in Canada film industry, and in England film industry. It's harder to branch out because over here it's in these countries it's career. It's a job. In Jamaica, it's not really a job. Everybody who is doing filmmaking have something to do on the side because we need to sustain ourselves. You get what I'm saying, Kevin?
So you're saying because of that, Jamaica should put more energy in pushing us. That's down there. That's what you're saying.
We need to we need to build our industry. But what I'm saying is that it is harder to branch out overseas than when in Jamaica. When I'm a filmmaker in Jamaica, when I come to the States or when I come to Canada or go to England, and I say, no, I'm a filmmaker, they go, what a film have you done over here? That's what the question they're going to ask you. Oh, I've done film in my local industry in Jamaica. Okay. And they moved on. The fanfare like, oh, yeah, we'd get to Jamaica. It's not like we'd get here because we don't do no film here we're having a big recognition. What I'm saying is that Sean Paul, yes, he came here and he got the connection to get big through other people. With us here locally, we are creating films, good films. We just need the support of not just the Jamaican people, the wider Jamaica, but also the people in Jamaica who can give us the real support. The government is doing what they're doing, and I love the film fund that they have, the screen fund that they have, but we still need push. We need the local theaters to say, boy, we're going to take. Every Wednesday night then, Carib said, a Jamaica night. All of the Jamaican film, with a shorter, bigger, small film, we're going to show them. And this is us taking those films. If I run it for 6 months straight and I don't make no profit, then I can say, well, I not make no profit, you know, because nobody don't like it. But you will never know if it won't make profit unless you try it.
And big up. I just have to big up.
Big up Dario.
Big up Dario.
Dario with his movie nights.
Right.
That's a big thing what Dario do. And I'm sorry to jump in there, Kevin. What Dario is doing this movie night, it's a big thing, and I lift my hats off to Dario on that.
And here's the thing, I will commend TVJ for the fact that they do have the what you call it, the Jamaican, right? When they show local content, I do, right. I definitely want them to do more, but I still appreciate the fact that they give filmmakers a platform to be seen on local TV. I definitely want them to do more because there's space for more fictional narratives. You know, like they had a Daily Harris's series, Blood and Water, Thicker Than Water.
Thicker Than Water.
Thicker Than Blood, whatever you want. And then there is Scissors Cut, right? But the problem is that these series are so far and few between. You know, them show one season this year and then the next season is 2 years from now.
Yeah.
You know, we still need more of that, you know?
Consistency is a problem.
Yeah, man. Jackie, you've been going for a while, so more on you round it up.
Two more questions, Mark. Two more questions. They can ask other questions after we wrap up.
Yeah, man. And you know, Casey a big cricket side, so you know, send us some. Give us the you know.
Yo. All right.
You know.
So, in Jamaica or abroad, like what artists inspire you?
Internationally, I love a lot of directors. I love Dick Wolf, because I'm a huge fan of TV series. I love TV series. I'll watch hundreds of procedurals. I'll watch Law and Order and all these other TV series. So I'm a big fan of Dick Wolf and his writing style in terms of Law and Order, Criminal Minds, and all of that. As it relates to, but I don't really have a favorite filmmaker internationally because I watch everybody. But locally, I would say
Kevin Jackson.
Of course, I would say Kevin Jackson for me is an inspiration. Joshua Paul Paul is a big inspiration for me because Joshua Paul gave me an opportunity to work on a short film. First time working on a short film, that was Joshua Paul.
Which one was that?
So Joshua Paul for me is a big inspiration.
Which film was that? Which short film was that?
Kinto.
Okay.
Yeah. Saeed and Javi from M1 Production, they gave me the opportunity as well to work on a few stuff. People like Successia, Wentworth. There are a lot of people I would say inspire me. Darren Scott is a very good
Darren,
DP, and I
yeah.
admire him and his shooting style. And there are many more people that inspire me. But for me, I don't go for the big names. I go for the people who are, I mean, I
Yeah.
love I love Storm Starter directing style because I've watched him on set, um, and so on. But for me, the not the big names. I go for the smaller people. And when I say small people, I'm not discrediting their work. It's just that these are people who are inspiration because I see the struggles they go through. I'm with these people. I'm working with these people. And I see the struggles they go through to fund their film out of their own pockets to get it done. They don't have the big producers, and they push to make films. So for me, I would say internationally, I don't really have a favorite, but locally, I have a few people I have to lift my hats off to because they work hard.
So now, what kind of films do you want to see come out of Jamaica?
Films I want to see coming out of Jamaica is more storytelling. Jamaica is known when people hear about Jamaica, and because of Dancehall Queen, because of Third World Cup, and because of other films, they see Jamaica as, and because of Shatter, they see Jamaica as, oh, I'll be a gunman film come out of Jamaica. No, I want to see good storytelling, good drama. I want to see some horror films come out of Jamaica. I want to see a lot of Christian films come out of Jamaica too, because we have the avenue for these stories. So for me, I want people, when people hear about a film come out of Jamaica, they don't hear about guns and zinc fence, because Jamaica have more to it than zinc fence and gun. Jamaica have more to it. You understand me? Beautiful beaches and nice city life. So for me, because I had an idea to write a film similar to well, not a film, but a TV series similar to Law and Order, but I call it CIB. I had the idea, but I didn't even put it on paper. The idea of calling, because we have our own investigation unit in Jamaica called the Criminal Investigation Branch, CIB. And I had a series penciling out, with we solving crimes, cold cases, because people don't think the Jamaican police do the investigation. We do. So I had an idea to do that. But what I'm saying, I want to see series coming out of Jamaica. I want to see good stories, beautiful stories, not just a man of fire be a shot and a cuss be a bad word. No, I want to see stories, good Christian movies, good love stories coming out of Jamaica.
So you have any upcoming projects? Anything you can share with me? That's not on the
Well,
NDA.
no. Well,
Or
other than
that
the
we
movie
won't get killed for if you tell us,
no. Other than our movie, which will be doing a premiere in I think this month. There's a premiere that will be doing a premiere in I think at Pegasus. I'll give you more details on that as it comes. But and they will be doing premieres overseas. But other than that, I've just been focusing on writing. I've been doing some writing. I've been trying to perfect my writing. So I've been, practicing writing because the short film that I had initially with this Cane Cutter, I want to turn it into a feature film. It's a period piece, so I'm writing it as a feature film, and I'm also trying to develop series and sitcoms as I go along. But I'm just doing writing now and learning more about writing until I get the money and the funders and the investors to start doing film. Hopefully, I can do film here in Canada and wherever the Lord will bring me. I'll do more films.
Yeah, Kevin, we're almost touching 3 hours. This has been the longest podcast so far,
Wow.
but it's
You might have
exciting, and it
you might
doesn't
have
even feel that way.
It
No,
doesn't.
we're
It
not
doesn't.
split.
It doesn't.
We're not split nothing.
All right, no problem. No problem.
Make people
Many
drive and
say
listen,
Mark
sit
talk a
down
lot,
and listen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mark, you do talk a lot,
I know.
but no.
Well, you're
When we say you
passionate and
talk a lot, I
innovative.
mean you're passionate, and we're talking about things that actually make sense and so on.
Right, right,
You
right,
know what I mean? And it really don't feel like the time will pass unless me look up
right.
and I see the
No,
clock.
honestly, when I look up
So
at the clock, I was like, oh my God, it's past.
But
yeah,
but here's why these conversations are important, because just like what I said earlier about research, right? When I was telling you, say, boy, I'm passionate about research because we in the Caribbean don't do enough research about ourselves. It's the same thing with these things. In Caribbean, we consume all these overseas podcasts. We consume the Roger Deakins podcast. We consume the Joe Rogans. We consume all of these things. And they have great information, but some of their information does not apply to us. This that we are talking about applies to us. So we can watch all of those podcasts about, how to get distribution for your film, how to get funding for your film, how to get signed by sales agent. The truth of the matter is when you live in the Caribbean, you
Doesn't
cannot.
apply to us.
It doesn't apply to us, right?
Or it don't apply to us yet.
Don't apply to us yet, exactly. The fact of the matter is there's literally probably only 0.5% of us, if that much, who can get a sales agent from Jamaica. Anybody who have a sales agent, chances are they had to travel overseas to do it. How many of us have the means to travel overseas? The people out here who have distribution overseas, they had to travel to do so.
Yeah.
Storm Salt has gotten 2 movies on Netflix. You think him do that from sitting down here in Jamaica? No, he had to travel to do that. How many people have the means to travel, right? So we have to start thinking about, hey, how we can't lock in the people who have talent but can't travel abroad. So how do we get them a seat at the table? We have to create our own table. And when I say our own table, I'm not talking about Jamaica. I'm talking about the Caribbean. And I'm not just talking about the English-speaking Caribbean. I'm talking about the English, Spanish, French, Dutch-speaking Caribbean, because what Deacon is saying is correct. When you put out a behind closed doors and it coming at the news, you think there are people in St. Lucia who don't see that news and say, John, no more watch this movie. You think there are people in St. Martin or Trinidad or Aruba or Tortola who don't see these things in the news and say, man, I wish I could have watched that movie, but all them are going to watch it. You understand? And the problem is, as Deacon saying, nobody not really taking a chance on the films. Now, I have some insight as to why they're not taking a chance, but I'm leaving that for the bookmark discussion that we spoke about earlier. But just as I say, these podcasts are important because we need a space to discuss and hear our problems and solutions. I want the students that are coming up to listen to this. I want the students 2 years from now, 10 years from now, to listen back to this and say, say, we still have them same problems where Lecky and Deacon and Jackson did talk about 10 years ago. John, and you hear how them did spit out the solution and all now. You want that to be there because I find that we keep on restarting the wheel. We keep reinventing the wheel. Every 10 years, somebody come up with a suggestion of distributing to the Caribbean, but it don't get done. Every 10 years, somebody come up with the idea of showing short films before the movie start, but it don't get done. Every 10 years, somebody talk about, hey, TVJ and CBM shouldn't charge us to put our content on them, and it don't get done. Again, I'm not ignoring the fact that TVJ shows, some local films from time to time, but like I said, it needs to be a consistent, sustainable thing.
And one last thing, Kevin, and one last thing before we go. What I do believe, I think your department you're a part of in the Film Commission, I think the Film Commission on a whole need to do some focus groups, need to do some sit down with executive from these TV stations, with people from corporate Jamaica, and invite filmmakers and to say, hey, these are the filmmakers, hear what they have to say. Let the filmmakers be the ones to pitch, as the Film Commission will be the facilitator to pitch to these people the issues that they have, and then hear from these people, these executives, what they're expecting. So invite even the Carib people, what they're expecting, why they don't show these films or why they don't show the work, and then have the people, because if you have these discussions at that round table, it will encourage. And you tell me the issue that you have with showing my film, then it will encourage me as a filmmaker to go back now and to fix up my work so that I can meet your demands or I can meet your criteria. You get what I'm saying? So I would say to the Film Commission, create some roundtable talks with these executives and get the filmmakers to come and belch out them issue and hear from the executive the issues that they have with local filmmakers, so that we all can come and be at one point.
I agree. That's something that I've always said, because I've been to a few local investor meetings where, the investor meet with filmmakers to see if, we can, we call it, the investor to be interested in investing in projects. And, they chose nobody's projects and we never heard why. And, it's like it would have been useful to hear why, because one of the problems that I find with Jamaica is that we keep on complaining that the filmmakers don't know how to be good business people. One, the filmmakers are so busy being creative that they don't have time for that. And because they're not making any money, they don't have money to hire the right people. And, we didn't learn it in school, so it's kind of unfair to expect us to know it. So one of the best things you can do is give us the feedback so that we know where we're going wrong. Because if somebody do something wrong, let's say on set, the best way to get them to do it right is to tell them what they did wrong and tell them how they could have done it better.
Because
Right?
if Carib say, why the local filmmakers, them not create good stories, because the stories them lacking something. It gives the writer, Kevin, to go back and say, then Carib said, this is the problem, let's fix it. When you fix the problem and you come back to them, they should not have any excuse because you have fixed the problem. So they have no excuse to show your film because you fixed the problem. But if you don't know what the problem is, the problem can't be fixed. So I believe that, and I says, JAFTA should be the champion of this and the Film Commission to have a sit-down roundtable talk with Carib people, have a sit-down roundtable talk with Digicel, Flow, and TVJ, CVM, all these people, and say, then, this is the film. These are the filmmakers. These are their issues. This is what they need. And then now, when they can tell you, say, boy, Flow will tell, say, boy, Kevin, the reason we can't get $2 million now is because I realize, say, boy, I'm not going to receive nothing from it. Then Kevin, your producer, will say, okay, then, because Carib said it will show in a Carib every Wednesday for 3 weeks straight. We're projecting that Kevin film will make $7 million. So the $2 million that you give us, Flow, we'll give you back 4. You get what I'm saying? Because you get what I'm saying? So we need that. I am not a business person per se in terms of that, but I have an understanding of your projection means that this is what you expect to get. It's not a definite. It can be less, it can be more. We are based on your research, say you're projecting that we're supposed to get $5 million because people are come to watch Kevin Jackson film in Carib every Wednesday. And you create something. But that's it for me tonight.
Yeah, man. It is 11:28 here.
If you go and talk, you reach tomorrow morning in Jamaica.
I'm passionate about filmmaking. I'm very passionate.
No, man. Like, listen, it have to happen, and we have to talk about it, and people have to hear it and understand it. Because you just bring up something a while ago that we have also talked about in the collective, where it comes to JAFTA and Pro and what. I mean, they have mandates and things that they're not responsible for, they shouldn't care about, and so on. But there's just some things, if they work together, or not even work together because they're already working together. If somebody figure out who do this, who talk about this, and train the people on it, that information that will go out and people will be smarter about it. You understand? When it comes, we're not gonna start another thing, Mark, the other Mark. We're not gonna start this again. But when it comes to that rates, like, who pass that down and make people know? So when they come Jamaica, come shoot, not try giving a full money. You understand? This is the starting rate. This is it. If a Jamaican producer, a Jamaica want make somebody work for less than that, that is up to them, and it's up to the people that's already educated for make them take advantage of them like that. But if you don't educate the people, I don't want to start anymore. No, wait.
Can I roar?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Let's not say. But what I'm saying is, what point I'm trying to get to is, we have to educate the people, because if people don't educate it and don't listen to things like this and don't learn things like what we're talking about, they won't know, and nobody's telling them, and then they will always keep taking what them get. See me say? So we have to have these conversations.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This was another episode of Anouvue Podcast. We had Mark Deacon as our guest today. Thank you very much, Mark, for being here. and sharing all of this wealth and knowledge. We had a very, very, very deep and engaging discussion tonight. And, I am looking forward to Cane Cutter. As you know, I've been looking forward to it for years. But Mark, all the best to you, and thanks so much for the energy.
Amen.
That's it, guys. We are out. And don't forget, you're probably watching this on YouTube, but you can also catch us on your favorite podcasting platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it. You're probably listening to it on that one of those right now, but just in case you didn't know, we are all over the place. All right, everybody. Peace
Wait,
out.
one more thing. Remember,
Yes,
Mark Deacon, if you can't run your set, he can.
you can.
Mark Anthony Deacon, don't spell my name, sir.
Oh my God.
By the way, people, this is the closing line. Mark Anthony Deacon stands for MAD, M-A-D.
Yes.
Just saying. He is a MAD.
Mad.
Thank you for listening to the Anouvue Podcast. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want more information on today's episode, check the show notes below if you are on a podcast platform, or the description if you are on YouTube. See you next episode.